Welcome to Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. This podcast delivers insights on what makes businesses, teams, and people successful based on real-life business experiences. Following a career with America's largest associations, JP Murray founded the Murray Company, one of Washington, D.C.'s most successful consulting firms. The company was acquired successfully and enabled him to launch JP Murray Racing, a business development and sponsorship agency for auto racing teams. Here is JP.
I want to talk about what I've learned by producing content and then consuming information. Let's talk about the development of your own content and what you might learn by it. Here are the things that I've learned after about 250 podcast episodes and literally hundreds of videos. First, the value of consistency. There's some interest that you will build by showing up and always being there on a consistent basis. People respect that, and it also builds some brand and awareness. Your business prospects will start to understand that you deliver on a consistent basis because you're giving away free content almost every day. That becomes a part of your brand. The second is you build credibility by being accessible. Videos, podcasts, I've written a book. You convey that your business is pretty accessible because you're vulnerable and you tell stories, both good and bad, about what you've learned in the field. The opportunity to provide some view of your business and people begin to understand it better. Now, I believe business prospects are much more likely to work with you once they know more about what you go through. This shows inside information. So I don't use this as a promotional or marketing platform, but as an education and understanding episode or format. The third thing I've learned is about the value of being authentic. Some of the people that watch will not like you. That's a thing that you have to accept in this format. If you're going to go out and produce content consistently and give real access to stories in an authentic way, there are going to be people that don't agree, they'll dislike you, and they'll probably never hire you. But the fact of the matter is, I think that those folks probably wouldn't have been a good fit anyway. On the other hand, if you do this over and over again consistently with the vulnerable and accessible stories, you can't make that stuff up on a consistent basis. It's not possible. So as you know, this can sometimes get gritty and real. I mean, frankly, I'm walking out of the gym in a t-shirt and messed up hair. I've probably been up for like an hour total. So for those that know me, it's pretty much what you get. I mean, it's a more personal way than any other tactic to connect with people other than face-to-face. It's great interaction, but impossible to scale in a face-to-face basis. You can scale by providing just real gritty, authentic content consistently and telling great stories that are actually true. My guess is it also helps your business because you're learning how to speak about it. The second thing I want to mention is the consumption of content. I use content consumption as self-improvement anchors. My youngest daughter's reading the Harry Potter books this summer, and I don't think it's her first time, and I know she's watched all the movies, but she's revisiting for a little escape or entertainment. I decided to give myself something similar with a little summer boost by visiting the Anchor books, which changed my life in a self-improvement journey. My pick right now is Awaken the Giant, authored by Tony Robbins. It's almost like using it as a tool or coach to reframe and adjust and relaunch performance. And I like the framework of personal improvement in this book in your emotions, relationships, profession, and finance. So the title isn't important. To me, it's the fact that I'm using an anchor, a tool, a literary coach in effect. Making change is difficult when you start with zero and without a map, and these books are my maps. So get a guide, virtually or in person, to be along your side and as a reference in the journey. 2 ways to learn: producing your own stuff and consuming other folks with their good information. Hey, folks, I hope this is helpful. I can't wait to chat with you next week on the Push to Pass podcast. So long.
Thank you for listening to the Push to Pass podcast with JP Murray, a discussion about business, racing, sports, and life. If you would like to sponsor Push to Pass, send an email to jp@jpmurray.com. Follow JP on Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. His website is jpmurray.com. Until next time, push yourself to pass the competition. Thanks for listening.